What's up guys, it's and today we're going to check out East 57 at KL East. Let's go! Hey guys, today we are back here again in KL East and we have visited a few properties here before, the Vio, the Reach, and today we're going to update the master plan a little bit. We're going to go shopping in the mall. They're going to check out the progression of the school. We're going to check out their very new park as well as their brand new landed project, which is so rare, that's why we gotta come. So just for revision, we are now in KL East and this will be MRR2 and this will be the Gombak LRT station, which is the main transit point also for everyone travelling to the east side of Malaysia. So after you go here will be Genting already. That's why you can see here is all the highlands, where there's a 200 million years old reach. And in order to enter the site, there will be a branch out here going into the township itself, and here will be KL East Mall. That will be KYS International School that is supposedly to open end of this year. Then what's cool will be KL East Geo Park, and that will be the entrance. So there will be 53 acres in total of the park, but the developer will be opening 17 acres first for the residents of KL East, and that's awesome. So the 17 acres is somewhat like a trial phase, and the entrance is right next to the school. So you can see that this township is seriously coming up very fast. But then suddenly they come with a very weird hook in developing 57 landed homes. So next to the KL East Township, there will be Montana. Then only there will be East 57. This will be Jalan Desa Melawati, and that will be the entrance into the site. And in total, this will be a freehold 6.36 acres, consists 57 individual title properties. And this is where I really don't understand, because this amount of land, it will be way easier to build a high-rise compared to landed, but they felt they want to make a statement. They felt that there's a need for this kind of product. Ta-da! Because to me personally, it just costs way more to build this kind of developments on hill, especially because of the infrastructure cost. Like to get the cables, to get the sewage, to get the water into each and every house is going to cost a lot already. Then you have a lot of soil strengthening stuff to do. Foundation work needs to be awesome. You also need to go over the confidence level for purchases, especially for these types in front. So as the house is built on a slope, so it's important to look at several things. How the building is standing, also to protect the surface from soil erosion. So what they did here is you can see all this strengthening work being done to the surface so the soil does not move whenever there's rain or water surface runoff. The second thing will be the houses are sitting on micro piles. So the building is actually sitting as if it's a high-rise, where the structural elements, the columns in the house connects directly into the foundation structure itself. That's why it's very expensive to do such things. Then all these panels up front, those are just for facade reasons, because not everyone likes to see what's within. And the unit we're going to check out today will be Type A, 26 by 80, 5 plus 1 bedroom. And Type A's are the type around the slope area. You have all the soil nailing treatments for the other areas to ensure that there won't be any erosions. And that's the greatest fear for houses around this region, because let's face it first, not many houses get to be built at the bottom of a ridge. Then in a total of 6.36 acres, we have 1.2 acres are used as greeneries, only for 57 units. But bear in mind, this is still an individual title project. And for the common areas, there will be all these facilities given. Generally for family usage, you can see alfresco community dining, children play area, fitness area, then for play area. And you're doing all this right under the mountain, next to the forest. It's going to be so cool. Although this is an individual title house, as per what they have done for all their township developments, there will be a guard house that comes right after the handover of the project. So after that only they will build a small security post here. And you can see it's pretty familiar. We have cul-de-sacs at the edge of every road. So only residents of this area will need to drive over here. So let's zoom into Type A's layout first. So for Type A1, once you come in here, ground floor, you can see that they can nicely park 3 cars. Apparently it's very important because I think at the roadsides here, it's pretty hard to park more cars. And when you come in straight away to the unit, you will realize that all the main spaces are at the back instead of the front. So this is a different twist of layout. So you will have a small bedroom here first with the general bathroom, then the dry kitchen and the wet kitchen. So the wet kitchen is also connected to the yard and it's huge. So you can go upstairs where it's all the private spaces. You have the bedroom 2, 3 and the principal bedroom upstairs, and you have a family hall, or you can convert it into a study area if you want to. All bathrooms comes with ensuite, and there will be a void here, and the void connects to the yard. So you just imagine the trees grow up this side. It's gonna be so good. But if you are going in from ground floor again, going downwards, you will have this private living area where the possibilities are just endless. You have a bedroom here, you can actually convert this into a home studio or your workspace or your AV room or whatsoever, just because the terrace is huge. This is almost an 8 meter by 1.5 meters, and it's going to be a wonderful space for families to hang out. So generally you can feel that this can suit perfectly multi-generation. Like you can have the youngsters and the main family live here, then you have the extended ones like your parents live downstairs. So all of them can live in the same room, but when they need privacy they can still all separate out. There's also a question like, why is this not strata? Because it's 2 million ringgit. In order to make this a strata project, there'll be a requirement of a clubhouse, and the concern of having the clubhouse, then every resident will need to pay maintenance fees. And in this project, it's so low dense, it's 57 units in total, that maintenance fees with the landscape, with the security, with the common areas, all will be shared by 57 units. The design team is pretty concerned on the burden created on the residents. But ultimately, it really depends on what's your choice of lifestyle. Like, are you really that active going to the clubhouse every day? Or you really use all the facility all the time? Or you just are in because there weren't any other choice? Then we are now right in front of KYS International School, and next to that will be the entrance to the KL East Geo Park, which is 53 acres of natural forest, and it's going to be such an amazing feeling to be emerging with nature. And it's also very cool for the school students, right? Come out, then use the entrance. But what's amazing in terms of township planning, you have such a natural element adjacent to high-end residential projects, that's the view, and walking distance to the mall, all in the same township. That is so rare. I guess that's the benefit of being at the fringe of urbanism, because right after this line, right, that's all nature. Then on this side is all urbanism, where you have Wang Semaju, you have KLCC, and that was the original attractive point of this address. Like being connected to MRR2 and being very close to KLCC was the main selling point of this address. And you just look at all these structures, all these perimeters, fencings, landscape treatments around the walkways, street lightings, retaining structures. The same treatments applies throughout the whole KL East. Just a very different feeling, right? Like without the car sound and all just now. Even the air feels colder. I think it somewhat feels fresher also. Like you have the sound of nature. Wow. And now we are at Gombak Terminal, where it's the interchange between the LRT and buses that comes from East Malaysia. This will be the main transportation hub. However, this is not walking distance from E57. It's a bit too far for that. But it's a 5 minutes car ride away. And now we are right in front of the site of East 57, and right opposite you have 3 residents, which is the high rise. So coming up through the slope, this will be the entrance into the project, and this is the entrance to the neighboring project called Sunway Montana. And now we are on site, the exact location of Type A itself, and just by judging on the vista, the trees are all mature. We have some housings in front. McDonald's is down there, and there will be MRR2 highway, and the new Duke highway connection is going to be ready really soon. You get a KL skyline at the distance, and at the back will be the greeneries connecting to the ridge already. So now what you can see, the workers are actually strengthening the slope to prevent from soil erosion. Then coming up from the entrance, you have houses on this side of the road. Then you have the Type Cs up front, and this is generally how the road will feel like, as the slope just slows you down gently when you go back home. And again, if you look into the amount of engineering work being required, so you can see every single piece of earth are being strengthened right now. As they have already predicted, those will be the main concerns for prospects who wants to buy the property. Although this is located pretty close to the highway, and it's 12 o'clock right now, that's why it's hot, you don't really feel the noise a lot lah. Then what you can see at the back there, whenever the earth slope is over a certain gradient, then it's very dangerous because the soil will erode. Therefore, they are doing all the slope protection treatments. This is what they call soil nailing. But what I want to highlight here for the first row is you will somewhat have obstructions of view to a certain degree on the condo lah. Also, because this is a slope upwards, therefore there will be certain acceleration noise from the traffic. And now we are on the platform, the highest platform of Type A's, and these will be the views. It's going to be so nice, and these are the treatments again that they are doing to the slope. And what you can see from a distance, there are still a lot of greeneries, but greeneries also right next to your site. Imagine the houses are here. This will be the background of your house. Wow! And at the edge of the boundary, then that will be Montana already. And because of that, this project of East 57 somewhat felt disconnected to me from the main KL East master plan. Because ultimately this whole piece was one. So the only way for residents here to go back to KL East Mall would be to U-turn under the bridge and to go back and turn in via the main highway again. And that will be the same access to KYS and to the Geopark as well. So the pathway home, if you were to stay in this project, will definitely be different because everything is in a slope. And I think that's all. Let's get changed and let's do Sean's take 3 on 3. So 3 things I like. Number 1 would be the setting of the project. So if you look into the drone shot, this is really at the Kaki Bukit, at the bottom part of the hill or the end part of the ridge, and it might be your home. So that's very cool. Plus, it's at the fringe between nature and urbanism. You can see there will be all the TRX, KLCC, and this location has always been popular because of that. Because MRR2 directly brings you to Jalan Ampang in like 10-15 minutes away, then that brings you to Glen Eagles and KLCC already. If you don't want to use that way, you can use the Setia Wangsa way as well. On top of that, now you have the brand new SPE highway that has just been completed, and it's also connected to Duke highways. Now you can go on to Bangsa South really easily, and it's setting like that is one and only. You cannot get any more landed projects, right, where your backdrop is a hill, a 200 million years old quartz ridge. Then the second thing would be the reputation and the execution ability of this particular developer. When they started this township, it was a very challenging site to begin with because it's majority forest reserve, so everything they do needs to be really careful. And in a matter of years, KYS International School is up, VO is up, and the Reach, KL East Mall, all those are done, and everything is as promised earlier. So the connection to the Gombak Terminal, the infrastructures, the walkways, everything was just well delivered. And not only the hard part, the soft parts like tenants for the mall. Not only KL East Mall, you have the Melawati Mall as well, and that is also another whole different township that they are building. It's just awesome to see them bringing all of these elements together. So when you talk about landed properties, which is their main business altogether, like all the townships that we have visited before, right? This is pretty second nature to them. They have done this so many times. And the third thing that I like, the different decisions that they made for this project. So the first one, they chose to build a landed instead of a high-rise. This would have easily been a fabulous high-rise project, leveraging on the height and the background of the mountain. But they chose with landed instead, which is way more complicated to build. Like if you look into the amount of infrastructure, how the sewerage run, how the waters run, the engineering works are just insane. For 57 units, right? They went for individual title instead of strata title. Then with the conventional superlink, they leverage on the natural terrain of the site to build a multi-level house which can host multi-generation. And although it's an individual title, I like that they specifically designed the facade to look super good, easily that people can modify, but still they just do up the design really nicely. So those are the things that I like. But one of the few things that I don't really like would be elements around the site. First of all would be the high rise right in front. If without the high rise, right, the whole project will have unblocked view. That is going to be so awesome. So when you are picking units, please be informed. I guess the team also adjusts the prices accordingly. Like the unit with the best view, of course, will get the best price lah. That because it's also a slope upwards, we tend to accelerate when we go upwards. So all the Grab drivers, all the cars and whatsoever, those will somewhat be noisy to the residents itself. Then at the end of the junction, you have a small cemetery. The second thing I don't like, there's no direct access to the main master plan of KL East. Like I need to have a separate entrance here. If I want to access KYS, if I want to access KL East Geopark, I need to make a U-turn to go back and U-turn again. So the feeling of being in one master plan but not connected, that's weird, but it's not a very far distance away lah. I just wish there were access directly connected into it lah. Then the last one would be the construction methods on slopes. So in this area, we all know the fear of construction around slope. So the amount of engineering works, like the soil nailing, the micro piling, the slope protection treatments, all those kind of things might look scary, but based on the amount of projects they have done in KL East, such as the school, such as the apartment, and we have the neighboring projects also using similar treatment. So I don't think it's going to be a problem in terms of engineering, just like as an acceptance as a buyer. So I think based on the reputation, based on the brand of the developer, they have done this so many times. Even in the same site, they have done it many times. It wouldn't be a problem. It's just that, are you okay with it? So you gotta get yourself educated, or you get a salesperson to really explain to you, making sure that you understand what is slope protection, what does it do, what is soil nailing, what does it do, what's the purpose of retaining wall, and etc. And with that, I think that's all for this project. Shout out to the team for having me, and it's cool to see the progress of this new township immediately next to the forest reserve. So personally, I'm really looking forward to the opening of the KL East Geopark. I think it's going to be awesome. Imagine jungle trekking in the forest reserve. It's going to be so much fun for all the residents. And with that, if you really like this episode, like it, share, and even subscribe for more information like this. Until next time, this is Sean Tan. Ciao.